Alright, I'm catching up on some old videos that I needed to get out there. This is the feature race from, I don't know, about 3 weeks ago. I'll put all the specifics in the description because I can't really remember exactly what all the specifics are. But it was like maybe race 10 for the OVKA 2021 season, LO206 Masters Heavy. And in the pre-final, my chain fell off. So I am rolling out probably, I think, like 20th or 21st. I don't know. We had a pretty big field. The 53, he's usually pretty fast, but I think he had a weight fall off. And so he and I are at the tail. I think there might be one new driver behind us. You know, if you're a new driver at the OVKA, for your first 3 races, you will start at the tail. And so I believe there's one person behind us with the big old X on the back of their helmet, denoting that they're crowded like that, you just don't want to get hit. As you can see, there was a car on the inside of me. It started to come out. I didn't want to touch him. I thought I could keep it together in the grass, and I think I might have got a little touch from the back. Combination of those two things. I went around. So as you can see, and I apologize right now, my GoPro 7, when you have it in hyper smooth mode or whatever it's called, it does not work well in road light. It almost sometimes makes it worse if I do not have some kind of anti-shake for stability control. Anyways, but you can still basically make out what's going on. And generally my left foot is focused on this when it pops up. So, I have a little time to talk anyways because there isn't anybody in front of me right now that you can see in the video. So I have a pretty large deficit. I think this person right here, I don't know what, they must have had some kind of mechanical issue. They were barely rolling, so I'm now not in last place. So I'm probably in the 20th or something like that. We were doing the short track, one of the short track configurations. I think this was just called B. I like the short track races, and I think this is the weekend that I had just made some changes to my front end. By the time the final came around, I was getting a little more used to the way the handling worked, especially towards the end of the race. It was getting to be a little bit easier. In the first couple seasons, I had to be thinking all the time about what's going on, and now some of it I probably should be thinking about. I don't know, but some of it's starting to get a little bit on the automatic side. But I am catching up to my first couple of carts right here. I think it's the 318 right there. He's got a Comet Eagle. It's a pretty fast cart. You see, he recovers out of the grass right there, and he steps away from me, I think, here in the straightaway. Once he kind of gets reoriented. I don't think I'm able to get past him. It's not right away. Went around through there pretty well. So this is a 15 lapper, so when we're running the short configuration, I think the lap times are in the 30-some seconds, so we're talking at most a 7 or 8 minute race. So I don't have all day to try to make positions back. But again, I knew, this is it's more exciting GoPro footage than just driving around with nobody in front of you. And sometimes some of the newer drivers, they don't get on camera as much, and hey, they're on camera right now. So as you can see, the 318 still clipping along pretty good. We just went past somebody. I forgot to look what the number was. Sorry about that. But I was able to. He left me a little opening down there. enough space for my cart to fit, and he's still on the outside, which actually isn't bad when you come around that corner because he's set up for the inside for the next turn. But again, he's a little bit newer driver. He probably didn't want to get tangled up with anything, so he gave me some room and I went on past. So now again, I have a huge gap to the next group of drivers, almost the whole straightaway right there. But I was geared pretty good for passing. Probably still the guys that were, in the top 5 or 6 guys probably had 1 or 2 less teeth on the rear gear than I did. But I knew I was going to need a little pull coming out of turns just to get around some of the guys if I was, if I caught them and was in a position to pass. Just by, pretty much on all these races, if you haven't been to a kart race and you're thinking about getting into it, you know what most of these other drivers' times are, so you know about where you fall in the times, and it may look like, what's crazy is that some of these guys are, they're probably still within a half second of me, and it's just, little things here or there, and you make up ground. Like, I had a whole straightaway on those guys, maybe within about 2 or 3 laps. They might be battling it out in front of me, or somebody bobbles a little bit, but I'm catching up to them. So it's, I was happy about that. I was a little worried because there were pretty big gaps, and like I said, it's only 15 laps, and you can see it's not the biggest. It's not the biggest lap. But right now I've got 2. Well, I want to get by all these guys. But as you move forward, each person, you're in the order that you are fast. So these people are all probably a little bit faster than the people that I've already passed. So it's going to be a bigger challenge to get past these guys. But I make a pretty good run through that corner, and I get past the 007 right there. And now I think it's the 9. Unfortunately, as you can see, the footage is a little bit blurry. I think it's the 9. And then that is my teammate right in front of him in the 222. But they're both keeping it on track. They're hitting the groove. They're hitting the racing line pretty good. And I think both of these cars in front of me, it's their first season. I know it's the first season for my teammate in the 222, and he's doing pretty good. There's been a few times I think he's actually had faster lap times than me on some stuff. And once he kind of gets used to the layout, a little more familiarity with the kart, where some of this becomes automatic and it gets a little more consistent, he'll be right there with me, if not in front of me. I would still prefer that he'd be behind me like I would everybody else, but But I am catching up to the 9 right here, and the 222's pulling up a little bit on the front. So if I get past the 9, I'm not going to be immediately on the 222. But then again, as you can see, there are a couple carts. He's starting to catch up to a couple of carts in front of him. So I can see a bunch of carts in front of me. It's just the problem is I think I'm down to maybe about 4 or 5 laps. But I'm just trying to stay consistent, hit my marks. The handling, the steering was feeling better as the race went on. I knew how much input I needed to give the wheel to turn. Well, it wasn't a mystery each time I turned a corner, so it was not hard to plan for. And I don't know, it almost makes it where you can do little flip turns easier. Like on this right-hander right here, I was getting that pretty good. I don't know if I ever talked about it, but my team runs Margay chassis. They're one of our sponsors. So check out Margay. I think our track champion runs Margay chassis also. At least our track champion for this class. Now we're running Margay chassis that are originally intended for a little higher power 2-stroke motor, but they're doing pretty well for us. But something, I don't know, I think my teammate might have bobbled just a hair back there, and I'm on him. And because it's my teammate, I'm trying to, I don't want to do anything that's going to spin him out or wreck me or do anything to either one of us. So unless I get like a big giant hole or something, or he totally bobbled up somewhere, I'm not really going to push the issue to try to wedge myself in somewhere to get around him. I'm not sure, we might be on the last lap right now. I'm not paying good enough attention while I'm running my mouth. Thought about it right there, but he closed that off on me. Come back around. I know I'm going through that corner good. I laid back just a hair right here so that I could try to make a run up around here, and I got up to his bumper, but he's gonna be able to hold on coming down through here. So that is the end of that race. I think he got 13th, I got 14th, which, you know, I started 20th or 21st or something like that, so I made up about 6 or 7 spots. And, you know, that's better than pulling in last place points. You know, both the 222 and I are doing fairly well on the points, so we need all the ones we can get. Anyways, have a good one. Talk to you later.